Hey everyone, and welcome. So if you've ever spent any time in a pen testing lab, you know just how precious your virtual machines are. So today, we're going to dive deep into a tool that can be your absolute best friend or your worst enemy, the VMware Snapshot. Let's really break down how to use these things like a pro. All right, I want you to picture this. You're, hours deep into rooting a machine, maybe something like Kioprix. You are in the zone, making real progress, and then you type one wrong command. Just one little typo, and bam! The whole VM is just bricked. All that time, all that work, gone. It is, without a doubt, one of the most frustrating feelings ever. And that, of course, is where snapshots are supposed to save the day, right? I mean, they sound like the perfect solution. It's like a magic undo button for your entire system. Kind of like hitting save in a video game right before a big boss fight. You take a snapshot before you try that risky exploit, and if everything goes sideways, hey, no problem, you just revert. It sounds so simple, maybe a little too simple. Okay, so what exactly is a snapshot on a technical level? Well, think of it as a point-in-time picture of your virtual machine, and this is the absolutely crucial part. It captures everything. I'm not just talking about the files on the disk. I mean the exact state of the VM's memory, its settings, the whole shebang. It literally freezes that one specific moment in time, and that's what makes it so dang powerful for our lab work. All right, listen up, because this is probably the single most important concept we're going to cover. We have to be absolutely crystal clear on what a snapshot is and what it is not. So yes, it is a short-term undo button. It is a temporary point-in-time state. But what it is not is a backup. Let me say that again, because it's that important. A snapshot is not a backup. It's totally dependent on those original base disk files. It's not some independent standalone copy you can just archive and forget about. Getting this one thing wrong is the #1 mistake people make, and it leads to disaster. And that little misunderstanding, that's what leads us straight into the hidden trap. That super convenient save point that we all love to use, well, it can backfire on you, big time. If you don't treat it with some serious respect, it has a dark side that can absolutely wreck your day, your lab, and even your host machine's performance. And this quote here, wow, it just hits the nail on the head. This is the core problem right here. The absolute worst enemy of a healthy VM is an old, lingering snapshot. Time is literally working against you. From the second you click Take Snapshot, a clock starts ticking. So let's talk about what actually happens. What's so wild is how these consequences just snowball out of control. See, when a snapshot is active, any new changes you make don't go to the original disk. They get written to a separate little file called a delta disk. The longer you let that run, the bigger and bigger that delta file gets. Now your poor VM has to read from two places at once, the original disk and this new delta disk. Performance? Yeah, it just tanks. And that's not all. Those files can bloat up and eat your storage like crazy, sometimes getting even bigger than the original VM. And if you start making snapshots of your snapshots, well, that chain becomes incredibly fragile. And trying to merge or commit a huge old snapshot back into the main disk, man, that process can be agonizingly slow, and it can feel spectacularly, leading to, you guessed it, irreversible data loss. Yikes. Okay, so how do we avoid this absolute nightmare scenario? It all comes down to one word: discipline. There is a right way, a professional way, to handle snapshots that sidesteps all of these traps. This isn't about never using snapshots again, no way. It's about mastering them. So let's get into the pro's playbook. All right, this is it. The single most important rule of the day. If you walk away from this explainer with only one thing, let it be this number: 72 hours. That is the absolute maximum recommended lifespan for any VMware snapshot, not just in a production environment, but even in a serious lab setup. 3 days, that's it. So let's break that down into 3 golden rules. These come straight from the official best practices, like the ones you'll see from Broadcom. Rule number 1, keep it brief. You use a snapshot for a very specific task. Maybe you're testing an exploit or installing a new tool, and the moment you're done, you delete it. 72 hours is the max, remember? Rule number 2, keep it simple. Creating a chain of snapshots is just asking for a world of hurt. Stick to 1, maybe 2, if you absolutely have to, but that's it. And finally, rule number 3, keep it clean. Before you do anything major to that VM's configuration, like increasing its disk size or upgrading VMware tools, you get rid of every single snapshot, no exceptions. So to really drive this home, here's the best way to think about it. A snapshot is like hitting the pause button on a movie. It's just a temporary stop. It is not like burning a brand new DVD copy that you can put on a shelf and keep forever. That's what a clone is for. Getting this mental shift right, it changes everything. Ultimately, this is all about adopting a completely new mindset. It's about shifting away from that reactive, I'll just keep it just in case kind of thinking, and moving toward a deliberate, disciplined, and honestly, professional workflow for how you manage your lab. Let's look at what this actually looks like in practice. The old habit, when you're starting a risky task, is to just say, I'll take a snapshot, and then you move on. The new discipline is, I'll take a snapshot, and I'm setting a calendar reminder to delete it tomorrow. See the difference? Or when you finish a lab session, the old habit is to leave the snapshot there, just in case. The new discipline, you delete it immediately and commit those changes. And finally, the big one, when you need a real, honest-to-goodness backup. The old habit might be to just let a snapshot sit there forever. The new discipline, you use a proper clone or a real backup utility. You use the right tool for the job. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. The next time you fire up VMware, I want you to think about this. Just take a look at your list of VMs. Look at the little snapshot icons. And ask yourself, is your current snapshot strategy an asset or is it a liability? Is it a tool that's actually helping you, or is it a ticking time bomb, just waiting to corrupt your data and grind your lab to a halt? The choice, as they say, is yours.